You are about ready to design your residential structure, your house. So when you open up Revit, I'm going to show you how to set this up for a residential design. So we're going to click New and Browse. And if you haven't put your shortcut folders over in the left-hand side, you should definitely do that now. So if I click on the desktop icon and go to Engineering Data Read Only, then Revit, I'm going to open up or do the libraries first and drag US Imperial right up here to the top. That's really important, and if you ever switch computers, then you're going to have to redo that again. But anytime you want to access doors and windows and any of these items, then you can just click on that little folder. It makes it really easy for you. So now now that I've done that, I'm going to click back and go into Templates. And I only need to do this one time because I'm only doing one design here. I'm going to open Imperial, and this time instead of choosing default, we're going to do a residential. And that has a lot of items already preset for us. So we're going to click OK. And I'm going to show you just a couple things to start you out on this that are really going to help you out. So now it is loaded. If you look over here in your project browser, you're going to see that you have a lot of different floor plan views. We do not need all of these. So I'm going to have you just begin by deleting the ones we don't need. We do need footing. We are going to right click basement and rename that crawl space, because that's what we have in our design. And yes, we want to rename corresponding views. We're going to right click basement electrical and delete that. We do not need first floor electrical. We don't need first floor framing. We do want foundation. We don't need roof framing, but we're going to leave roof plan, so we'll leave roof plan. We don't have a second floor, so let's delete that. All the second floor items. We're not going to take a look at a specific site plan. We'll just use our first floor view. And we will have a top floor, top of footing floor plan view. Ceiling plans, we don't have a second floor, so let's delete that. Now, this is really important. Anytime you want to get back to look at your design, you're going to have to click first floor floor plan. If you click anything else, it's not going to show you your actual floor plan. If we take a look at our elevation, it's important you click north, not east. North shows everything we need to have. You'll see all the elevations are in here for you. And I'm going to zoom into these. Your roof is not going to be at 18 feet. It's actually going to be at 9 feet. So we don't need to have the second floor elevation. So if I right click this, I can delete that. I don't want to have that one in there. So that one is now gone. So we should have everything sort of matching here as what is located in our views here. Our roof is not going to be at 18 feet. We don't need to adjust that quite yet. We'll wait until we get into the roofs video. And along with all of these elevations, these can all be adjusted later on, and they will need to be actually. So now let's go back into our first floor view, and I'm going to show you how to draw walls. Let's go to the first floor, and I'm going to choose wall. And here's what's great about the residential default template, or residential template, is it has walls already set up for you. So we wanted wood siding on a wood wall. I'm going to click on that one, and my walls need to be 9 feet tall. We're only going to have 8-foot ceilings, but we're going to have 9-foot tall walls in the exterior. And I want you to take a look at this. If we edit the type of this and then go into edit the structure, you'll see that they already have the finished siding, clapboard siding, 3/4 inch. We have the membrane air infiltration. We have plywood. We have our 2x6 wall. Remember, 2x6 is actually 5.5 inches thick by 1.5 inches. And then we have our gypsum wallboard, our sheetrock on the inside. That's great. So it's almost done. You are going to have to insert a layer. If you look at your Habitat for Humanity guidelines, I believe it says something like some type of styrofoam insulation of some thickness needs to go on the outside of the plywood, but on the inside of the siding. So make sure that you do that. I'm going to delete that right now because I want you to look at that document and make sure you do that on your own. It also tells you, and it's really kind of neat here, it tells you the R value. Now you notice it's pretty low, it's only 8. That's because they haven't included the R value of 2x6 insulation, which might be somewhere around 19 or so. So then you're talking about an R value of 27, which is pretty good. So let's click OK on this and OK on that. And we now have set our walls to 9 feet, so make sure you've done that before you start drawing. And I'm going to actually start drawing a wall. I'm going to click once, and I'm going to go up to about a 30 I'm going to make mine 30 by 38 just to give you a quick sample of a couple things that are going to help you out with your project. So I've created that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I like to be able to see fine detail, but you can see the lines are really thick on here. So again, I clicked down here, selected fine, and I want to go to view and choose thin lines. And now when I zoom in even further, I can see that I have my different layers, my siding, I have my plywood sheathing, gypsum wallboard. Remember, you're going to have a layer in here of insulation probably as well. So that kind of shows that basic idea. If we add an interior wall here, I'm going to show you your interior walls. Click the Architecture tab. And interior walls are also preset. If we scroll down here, you have a interior 4.5 inch partition. That is the one that should meet your design specs. 1/2 inch gypsum wallboard on either side with a 2x4 in the middle. Again, 2x4 is only 3.5 inches thick. So that looks good. And so we click OK on that. So if I draw in a, maybe I'm going to draw a room in here, then I measure the room. I need to measure it from the exterior point to this exterior point. And you can see it's 7 feet and 1/8 inch. So this gives me kind of an idea how big that room is. Bedrooms don't need to be as exact, but kitchens and bathrooms really do, because those are the rooms where you have counters and cabinets and things that are to exact dimensions. So make sure that those meet your exact design specs, and you'll notice that when I pull this out, it says 8 feet 2, but that's from center of wall to center of wall. So you're going to have to do some measuring to constantly check on this. Now I have 7 feet 8 1/8, whereas the design said 8 feet 2. So make sure that you check when you're making your kitchens and bathrooms that they're the size that you want. And the reason I like to have that fine view of thin lines is because it really shows me, do these walls look the way they want, or is the wall accidentally inside out? If the arrows are on the inside, now you can see I have my siding on the inside of the house. So that's why thin lines seems to really help. So we have a kind of your basic setup here. The last thing I wanted to show you, and then you are ready to go on your own, is if we click on door on this one, there's a lot of preset doors. You're probably not going to have raised panel with side lights. That's an expensive front door, so you're probably not going to have that. These sliding closet doors are great if you had that option in your drawing. And then single flush doors. Most of you probably aren't going to have double glass doors on the inside of your house. But please note that your door height is typically 80 inches. It's not 84. And for Habitat for Humanity, or sorry, for Universal Design Guidelines, all of your entrances need to be 36 inches, with the exception of maybe the master bathroom, those additional bathrooms that don't need to be Universal Design because maybe your client isn't in a wheelchair themselves. They can be a little bit smaller if they need to be. The pantry could be a little bit smaller because you're not wheeling a wheelchair into a pantry. But otherwise you should have a 36 by 80. So I can set that door, and remember to change which direction the door faces. You just click on the arrows. And your door needs to have room for trim. So putting a door this close to a wall is not acceptable, because when you do a walkthrough of this house, you're going to see there is not enough room for trim on this. So hopefully that gives you enough to get you started. You have your design, floor plan, layouts set. You know how to put your walls in and your doors. Don't forget to also include your windows. If you look at your design, windows have to be openable. And so you're looking at a double hung. Double hung means that the window can be opened. It's a casing, it slides open like that. For every bedroom, you need to have windows that can open, because there has to be a means of egress, a means of escape. One mean of escape in a bedroom is a door. Another means is an openable window. So that's all part of your code, your building code documents. And egress just means escape. So make sure you have that in each of your bedrooms. And ventilation for bathroom, that would also account for that. So those give you, there's some different dimensions here. So as you place them in there, make sure you take a look at the side of the house so you can see, how does it look. Again, this window shows it's on the outside. If I want to see how that looks from that west view, I can see, that would be a little ridiculous having a window that tall. So double check your windows, make sure that they look right, they look the way that you want them. Alright, now it's your turn.